had done their 9 to 5 rallies up town at 6 o'clock. You got this whole car and back to go make it. You'll probably walk. I gotta walk to work in the morning. I'll be walk home. Gotta get my insulin pills from Bullshit. Cover something else. Once a day, I don't know who it is. There's a automatic push message.
Hi, I'm Peter Fu
And it's Justin.
with Zero Credibility. Let's go! All right. So today, what are you gonna talk about? Shall we start with the Crazy Rich Asians?
I don't know, man. You got the schedule. You got the rundown, man. I'll just you
Fuck it,
go,
let's-
and I'll go with what you go with, man.
Let's start with that. What have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
I have seen Crazy Rich Asians.
What were your thoughts?
I cried, man.
As in, it was great?
I
Or was
actually did, man. I cried, man.
Why?
Like, all right, I did cry. All right, there was like there was a lump in my throat, man. Like, cause I don't know, man. Like, it felt all right. Let me give you some background, right? So when this movie was getting all hyped up and stuff before release and stuff, I was just like, man, this movie is like kind of whatever, man.
Another chick flick?
Yeah, it's like literally, it's another chick flick. The only reason it's getting hype is because it's being pushed by all these like Asian people. I mean,
No, I don't think that. I think it's also because it's like all the liberal lefts, it's progressive, it's a breakthrough for minorities.
yeah. But the thing is, like, you know, if you look at like my friends and people I know, they're all Asian people, right? So everyone's hyping this movie up, right?
Oh, yeah,
and
true.
if it was just any other like chick flick, I'd be like, man, what's even like, you know, I'm not a big fan of chick flicks, so it's like, all right, you know, if it's all white people, I won't watch it anyway. So I actually wasn't that keen on watching it just because it's like, man, it's just gonna be another chick flick, right?
Yep.
But then one of my friends asked me to go, and I watched it, and man, like, there's this whole idea around like it really speaks to Asians and Asian Americans and Asian immigrants and whatever, and people say like, oh, it resonated with me so much. Oh, you know, I really felt, you know, what the characters were feeling. Oh, there's so many situations which, you know, are on the big screen which I've never seen before, and I thought all that was kind of bullshit.
Because do you have money though?
Nah, man, I don't have money though. I
think you have to really have a lot of money to kind of relate to most of the stories, the main character stories, except obviously Rachel Wu, as in Constant Wu's character, Rachel Chu.
I think so. I think it's like people shouldn't confuse, like, you know, there's definitely the stuff which is like the Asian stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there's also definitely the stuff which is just like normal rich people stuff, regardless whether you're white or black or Asian or whatever. It's just like rich people stuff, right? And so the rich people stuff, I can't really relate that much. But the Asian people stuff, you know, like the stuff where, you know, you talk half in English and half in Chinese or whatever.
Bahasa
Like,
campur.
Yeah, like whatever.
Raja.
Or like you know how you know everyone freaking gossips about all the aunties gossip about each other,
Aunties.
you know, via their WhatsApp group message and all that sort of stuff. You know, all the stuff about like the grandma being like the matriarch of the family. You
Okay,
know,
I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit, but do your aunties love you? Because the aunties all love me.
I mean, I'm cool with my aunties. Like, I don't think any of them dislike me.
Okay.
I don't think they love me, but I don't think they dislike me. I mean, I'm just
Oh,
like,
so you're indifferent. You're just that cousin.
I mean, yeah, but still, like, regardless
That
of whether
niece,
you
that
liked or
nephew.
not liked, people are your aunties are gonna gossip about you, right?
Yeah, true.
You know, like,
Well, have you heard rumors about you? Because I always hear from my cousins that, oh, my mom and they all said you don't want to go back because you found some white girl or some shit like that.
I mean, all that stuff is normal stuff.
Okay, so what do you thought of the movie? Like,
I thought the movie was surprising. I mean, all right, so I'm gonna look past the fact that, you know, it's a chick flick, so it's a bit cheesy. Some of the tropes were a bit, you know, I mean, they were normal rom-com tropes.
yeah.
But I think overall, the movie, I would say, is pretty good. Like, if you ask me if it's worth watching, I would say, yeah, definitely worth watching. And I think the real star of the movie, actually, I was most impressed with Michelle Yeoh. I thought
Yeah,
I thought she was really good in the movie. I thought she was the best actor in that movie.
The movie, I thought was the stronger characters were the women. They you know, they were really strong women. Which, I mean, like, I don't know about your mom. My mom is a very like strong woman. So like when I saw that, I saw a lot of like similarities. Not like Michelle Yeoh, but like, for example, Rachel Chu. Like when she developed strength throughout the movie, I thought her character was great.
I think that part of the reason the movie is being so widely praised by, you know, across
By white
the
people.
board is also because of this idea that women are empowered in this movie.
Yeah.
And I mean, come on, man. There's that one scene when Grace is breaking up with the no, it's not Grace. Who's the
rich?
like Grace is the actress's
really
name.
hot, really hot.
Yeah.
The British. The
Yeah,
British
yeah,
one.
yeah.
I don't know her name.
Yeah. But she's breaking up with the guy, right?
Yeah, oh,
and she goes like, "It's not my job to make you feel like a man."
Oh,
and the whole cinema just went, "Ooh!" I was like, "Oh man, that's pretty good line, man."
But what do you
Pretty good
like?
line.
All these you've probably seen all these dynamics in your
Yeah.
life because I have as well.
I
Like,
have, yeah.
There's some bits that relate to me, and
Yeah.
and that's why I thought it was great in that sense. But as a movie, I thought it was very average. Like, but still make the movie because it's a breakthrough for us. You know, like it shows like our type of stories, me and you, whatever. These type of stories can be is liked, and people from like other like nationalities and other races they might like it. They might like seeing these type of stories too, which is I think is great. That's the best part.
I mean, whether it's a breakthrough for, I guess, Asian people of Asian or East Asian descent, however you want to describe it, to take leading roles in movies. I think I'm honestly not sure because I remember the time. You remember like a few years back when Slumdog Millionaire came out,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
pretty closely it was followed by Life of Pi.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh yeah, like the Indians are breaking to Hollywood,
Yeah.
right?" Like it was all about like Dev Patel. Dev Patel was like the hottest
The
male
man.
actor at one point. Yeah, he was the man at one point, right? And not to say that Dev Patel has not been successful in his own right now, but he's not a leading man in
But
Mission Impossible
it
or
takes
whatever,
time.
right?
It takes time.
Yeah, but I think around the time when the Slumdog Millionaire stuff come up, people were like, "Oh, right, these Indian descent actors, they're gonna
Break
like
through.
it's acceptable now, like
Yeah, yeah.
like it's
Okay,
so
even
to speak
better
cool
Yeah.
to be Indian." So I'm not sure whether this movie in itself will make the next Jason Bourne be
No, we don't want that.
so,
dude.
but I think that it definitely shows an appetite for, or rather, people don't really care in a lot of movies around like what
It's still a small
what,
step forward.
yeah, what
though.
their ethnicity. Because I think the best movie now, or rather, movie that's getting a lot of critical acclaim now, and not because the main actor is Asian, but it's that John Cho movie.
Yeah.
What's it called?
John Cho.
Yeah, right now. It's out right now, and I really want to watch it.
Who's in it?
John Cho. John Cho is the leading actor. He's like a dad who, his I think his girl gets
searching.
yeah, searching.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
girl,
yeah.
his daughter gets
His
kidnapped.
daughter,
So his
or,
search,
like,
and he's trying to
disappeared.
find her, right?
Yeah.
And like it was sort of made. I guess it sort of flew under the radar of Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah.
But this is a movie that was marketed and it's being shown and the ethnicity of the main actor is not being discussed at all.
Yeah.
Which I think is
Is more progressive.
yeah,
than,
I mean,
than
like,
keep
that's-
bringing it, it's an all Asian cast. you
yeah,
know?
exactly right. It's not trying to appeal to this
Yeah.
tribalist sort of mentality. But yeah,
Yeah, I
I'm
agree.
keen to watch that movie. But Crazy Rich Asians on the whole, I think good movie.
Yeah.
And I just gotta say, right, the part that made me have a lump in my throat was it's not a very poignant scene, but it's like I don't know why. It's when the Chinese rendition of Yellow
Oh yeah.
plays
that was good.
over the end.
That was good.
I was like,
Yeah. No. I was.
I don't know,
touched as
man.
well.
I felt feelings, man.
Yeah.
I felt feelings.
But something did take away from that scene. I just didn't like the people who were getting married. I thought the girl was kind of annoying. Like,
yeah. I agree. I thought
Yeah.
it was kind of
Yeah.
annoying. So.
but shout out Dana Lowe for being in the movie. She's yeah.
Who's Dana Lowe?
Oh, she's my best friend's girlfriend, and
Oh,
she had a
oh,
2-second cameo.
Cool,
But
cool.
shout out, yeah.
Yeah, actually, I got because there were a lot of like cameos from like Singaporean actors. There were a lot of cameos from like Malaysians.
Phua Chu Kang.
Yeah, like Poh Chu Beng is the husband. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't recognize it at all actually until
Rose
I
was in it. She was Rachel's mom. I'll show you later. Like I'll draw it up later.
No, that wasn't. That's not Rose. That's not Rosie. That was Chu Beng's wife.
Yeah, Chu Beng's wife. Sorry, Chu Beng was such a fucking amazing name.
Yeah, but it was like and there were a lot of little cameos from like Malaysians as well.
Yeah.
So I think
Ronnie Chang,
Ronnie is the
Optimum-
man, man.
Yeah,
Ronnie was. I thought Ronnie was pretty good, man.
Mr. Optimum Angle. Hey, dude, I thought Jimmy O Yang's talents were wasted as that guy. I mean, he was funny, but Then he got that belly right, man. He got a rich belly right.
I mean, Jimmy O Yang, he's a funny guy. Ken
Have you watched
Jeong.
Silicon Valley?
I have. I think it's a great show.
I think his character is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I think the character is really good as well.
Who's the guy? Who's his boss? I can't remember his name. Rest in peace. His boss, the guy who tried to fake his
On
death.
Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
Oh, Eric Bachman.
Rest in peace, Eric Bachman.
Yo, that guy getting torn down right now. Man.
Yeah, no, but like, oh, you mean real life?
Yeah.
What's happening?
The Me Too stuff. He got caught up in that stuff.
Oh shit, man.
I mean,
Okay.
shit.
Like, I mean, like, who knows? It might be true. I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
If he did touch him, fuck him. But if he didn't, I'll stand with you.
All right, let's move on.
All right. Oh wait, before we go, do you read about the $1 billion whale book? Have you read that? The 1MDB scandal. Have you? How many pages are you in?
I'm in 6 pages.
Do you use the book I gave you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh damn.
But apparently,
That's not the final version.
yeah, apparently that's not the final version. I don't know if it's true or not.
No,
but-
there's some mistakes. I've read the pages and I realized there's some mistakes. That means this was the like the testing, like it was before final edit.
Oh, hold on. Just for I guess any listeners, why don't you give some background on the book $1 Billion Whale?
So $1 Billion Whale was a book written by 2 investigative journalists. Investigative journalists.
Yep, from the Washington Post.
Washington Post, and they're basically investigating the 1MDB scandal, which has been like floating around Malaysia over the last 3-4 years.
I
Longer?
mean, it's really only come to public consciousness in the past. I guess
years.
yeah, you're right. Maybe 3 years, but
Because the DOJ Wall Street case was opened 1 or 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just to give some background, the 1MDB case essentially is a story of political corruption and embezzlement at its highest political levels. Basically, the Prime Minister of Malaysia is accused of abusing his power and stealing money from a sovereign wealth fund,
yeah.
the sovereign wealth fund of Malaysia, and that fund was called 1MDB. How much they stole? How many billions?
I don't want to say it, but a lot of money.
It's still
billions.
It's still
billions.
literally billions, like
Billions.
literally billions, and yeah, like that was a big reason why I guess the government was overthrown in the recent election. It's the first change of government in Malaysia ever since independence.
Shout out Malaysia.
in 60 over years.
Justin didn't vote it, by the way. I did.
And he's now been the prime minister has now been brought to court, and
He's
the
being
ex prime
charged
minister
with
has been
20 plus
charged for
charges or
quite a few things, including money laundering and abuse of power. The thing is, the story is that there's this other guy
Oh,
named Joe Low. We call
Yeah.
him Joe.
yeah, call him Joe.
Joe essentially was the facilitator of everything. So he is just a guy who I think he was born into a pretty rich family.
Yeah, in Penang.
Yeah,
and he basically went to boarding school, and he basically had this insecure, like he's an insecure cuck. If you read
I mean, he's a fat Chinese kid.
Yeah, he's a fat Chinese kid who used to lie, like when he was abroad, used to lie about him being Malaysian royalty. So that's the type of guy we were dealing with.
Yeah. So somehow or another, he got connected to the prime minister. I think it was through the prime minister's stepson or something.
Stepson, yeah, Riza. Aziz,
Yeah, Riza, yeah.
Riza.
And he somehow or another, got involved in the whole 1MDB. If you want to read a good story
Read the book.
about
It's a great book.
like how funds are laundered, and not just any funds, but sovereign funds, and
How they're
money is
spent.
owned by countries, how they are stolen by the people in power.
Yeah.
Like even looking at the Washington Post reports and stuff is fascinating.
Oh,
Like
dude,
you
it's
see how money
amazing.
is wired all over the world, how it's laundered, how it's just washed, and how it just goes into someone's bank account. So this Joel guy, like there are some
Not gonna lie, he's quite smart.
yeah, it definitely is. But there are some really interesting stories about this guy
Amazing,
and how he's just
amazing.
dropping cash everywhere in the world. Like he's hanging out with Leonardo DiCaprio.
They're
Like
good friends. They're actually good friends.
I mean, good
They
friends.
were good friends.
I mean, if anyone gives me like $1 million car, yeah, he'd be my good friend as well, man. So
Oh,
this
dude.
guy bought a car for Leo. Just gave it to him. Just like, yo,
Let's just
man,
give them a
do you want a
teaser.
car? Just here's your car, man. $1 million. There you
Okay,
go.
Let's just leave with like a teaser from the book. He called Busta Rhymes a bitch.
Yeah, I called Busta Rhymes a bitch. He went on Busta and said, I own you, bitch.
Oh.
Nice. And this
Oh.
is, and if you look at the picture of this guy, he's some fat Chinese guy, man.
who potentially who potentially fucked Miranda Kerr and Paris Hilton.
And apparently, there's this guy on Reddit who, and this was like a few years actually before the 1MDB thing came out. He did an AMA on Reddit because he was one of those eye in the sky guys in the casinos.
Yeah.
And he did an AMA about his job pretty much. Like I'm an eye in the sky in the casino AMA. And someone asked him, what's the wildest thing you ever seen, or what's the biggest high roller you ever seen? And that guy
Joe.
said it was Joe. And this was before the whole thing
Yeah.
came out. So one of the juicy bits was like this guy had all these celebrities in the high roller room. He was betting like 100 grand a hand in blackjack.
Yeah.
And he had a room just for all his hookers, man. And he
Yeah.
and his friends would just go
Run
in there
through
and
them.
just
Run through that shit.
yeah, like and according to this guy, those hookers were like the highest end hookers that you can get.
No, he knows all the people in Vegas who supply him all them girls and shit.
Yeah, but it's just ridiculous the amount of money that, like, I can't even comprehend.
If you read the book, you see the people who helped him move those money, man, they had that appetite for that life as well. Like, you know, Chinese mistresses and all
Yo,
this
dude,
nonsense.
if I knew someone who had that amount of cash and was dropping that money left and right, I'd have appetite for the life as well, man. I just don't know anyone.
Man, fuck
Unless you got some
But it's such
connections,
a-
man.
Fuck that guys. But anyways, before we leave this topic, it's fair to claim that Wolf of Wall Street is a Malaysian-made movie.
Wolf of Wall Street is allegedly made using these laundered funds.
Gang. All right.
Wolf of Wall Street allegedly made using these laundered funds. Oh, but anyway, the book Billion Dollar Whale came out this week. Peter and I are reading it, and I guess we'll talk about it more
We'll
next
finish
week.
it off, yeah.
But just as an update, what's going on now is the Joe guy is on the run. He's a fugitive. It's on the run. There's Interpol notices out
he's
for
doing the
him.
race. He's doing the race.
And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Very very interesting case.
Okay, before we end this topic, do you know Michelle Yeoh? I think her movie company or something. She bought the rights for that thing, and they're going to try and make a movie.
Yeah, so Michelle Yeoh is going to exec produce the movie
yeah,
that's
that.
based off the book, but there's a bit of controversy around that because, and this is, to be fair, this is getting a bit too detailed, but so pretty much the person that allegedly broke the whole 1MDB story initially was this media outlet called the Sarawak Report.
Oh,
They're
the-
an independent news, online news portal
the
based
British
out,
woman.
yeah, based out of Sarawak, which is in a Malaysian state off the island of Borneo. And so she apparently worked with these guys, these Washington Post guys.
Oh, she didn't get credited.
And, you know, she was providing them sources and stuff. And essentially what she's come out and said now is that these guys have not provided me any credit or whatever. You know, they said that they've done everything themselves. When they found out who my sources were, they cut me out of the loop and went straight to my sources. This is essentially going against journalistic integrity. And she does not agree with what's happening. But regardless, I think she also said something along the lines that she's going to come out with her own book.
I think hers would be better, right? Because
yeah.
she's more in touch.
I mean, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know who'll be better or not, but you know,
Her name
she
is,
was not happy when
Claire Rewcastle
yeah,
Brown.
Claire Rewcastle Brown.
Yeah, mad respect for her. She's a British person, and she, you know, risked so much to bring this to light. Like, she's probably a very good journalist. I mean, from what, you know, I don't know too much about her, but I know she's been, you know, trying to write about this, and she's been, you know, coming under strong fire from the government
Yeah.
over the last few years. So.
I mean, I think she's always been a controversial figure in Malaysia for a long time. She's obviously British, but she has deep ties to Sarawak. I think she has some history there in terms of like the British occupation of Malaysia at the time.
True.
So she has quite deep connections into Malaysia, and I think part of the reason the whole Sarawak report came about in the first place was because of she was campaigning against some environmental issues in Sarawak. I think mostly against the chief minister there, who
Taib?
is allegedly insanely corrupt.
Allegedly.
And she's one of those that was one of the first to publicly voice out against him. She has been arrested multiple times, thrown in jail multiple times for dissent and defamation. And yeah, this 1MDB thing is just another thing that, you know, she's brought to light, and was I think a lot of people credit her for really bringing it out to public consciousness.
Yeah, okay. Respect Claire Rewcastle Brown. All right, let's talk about ABC News. Let's go over it quickly. I think it's a bit like over the top.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, apparently there were like new news today about let me check.
So what's the background of the story first?
Okay, so what happened was the managing director, Michelle Guthrie, was asked to step down, but she refused to. Then a week later, she got fired. She got the sacked, and a week later, news been coming out about this is it the CEO, James Milne?
I think so. Yeah.
CEO, right? Yeah. So he came out and no news came out of him, like, you know, like a lot of like the government meddles with the way how the ABC is run. Like, for example, 2 news broadcasters were sacked because the government didn't like them, so they just phoned in, like, you know, yo, you need to get rid of these 2, you know, because there were the 2 presenters were spitting out like pro-labor type of news and stuff, and they were like kind of like writing bad pieces about like James Milne and the Turnbull government, and the government just got them sacked. And that when that news came out, people aimed for James Milne's head, and now he's out, and so all this fiasco is happening.
So basically, it's just a story about, you know, political influence within
The
Australian
news
media.
media, yeah. So do you think? I mean, it's not. Would you say? Okay, I'm not saying it's wrong or right, but I mean, what news organization is independent anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So if it was a Labour government in power right now, they wouldn't have been sacked, right? Like, you think about it, right?
I mean, probably not.
Yeah. So we had a very good discussion about this.
I mean, the ABC is funded by the government, right? So
Yeah.
whoever's in charge of the government is going to have some say within the editorial content of the ABC. As much as the ABC or any media outlet likes to say we're independent, everyone knows that that's not possible.
But to be fair, for the ABC News to hold its integrity, shouldn't they have kept the 2 presenters? I mean, like, that's the point, right? Like, that it's okay to be. I know. Logically, I mean, like, not.
I mean,
logically,
well,
but
they would have kept their integrity if
No one was
the story
sacked.
didn't come out, right? I
Yeah.
mean, they could have sacked them, but if you don't know the reason why, right? Like then,
But now you do. I mean, as in now you do. As in, I mean, if you were the government, would you have sacked them if they're talking shit about you? But
I mean, I don't know.
rightfully so.
I don't know what they said, but it just leads me to think that
No,
you
the-
know, I'm sure people have been sacked from the ABC before, right? And it's just like, oh, this person's leaving or whatever. But we've just never known, I guess, the reason, right? Maybe those sackings have been politically influenced as well. Like, like it's just because that the reason for this has come out. I'm not sure how it's come out, whether it's been leaked by someone or whatever. But you know,
Okay.
it's like the only reason it's controversial is because it's been leaked that like the reason that these 2 were let go was because Malcolm Turnbull made a call to someone and said, get rid of these people.
Yeah, no, I can tell you why the Emma chick was the Emma girl. Sorry, I shouldn't use the word chick because that's James Milner is under fire for using the word chick in the workplace. So the woman presenter, which was fired, she wrote an article about like, oh, tax cut to big businesses are bad, and then before the article was put out, they edited it to talk, like, you know, because Turnbull was trying to protect tax cuts for big businesses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So and that apparently was one of the reasons why she got let go. Yeah. So I mean, like, I'm trying to ask you, do you think it's right what Turnbull's done, or?
I mean, it's not.
I mean,
It's not right, so to speak, but it's not surprising. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
This
Yeah.
stuff happens in media outlets all the time.
Yeah.
In every media outlet. Like I said, I don't think there's one media outlet that can, you know, say that they're 100% independent.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's true. I mean, then wouldn't it be like, okay, so it's basically hard to go to the news run by the government then, like, right? Thinking about it as a general person. I mean, there are probably some news.
Then
which we can
what
take.
news will you go to?
Sure. Are they independent news? They are, right? They are independent.
Yeah, but who are they funded by?
Yeah, true. Okay.
Like, you know, like news these days is not a public service, right? It's
Yeah.
funded by someone,
True.
and you
Rupert
know,
Murdoch.
yeah, like, you know, so regardless of what article or what outlet it is, it's funded by someone, and so the news is going to have, you know, it might not be blatant bias. You know, there still might be some
Left leaning or right leaning.
yeah,
slight leaning.
yeah. There's gonna be influence, right? Like regardless. So you know, it's just
Okay.
I think the point is that people today need to
Read
as
both
you
sides.
said, yeah, read both sides.
Okay.
come
So
to
the
conclusion
education
themselves.
here for everyone is read both sides and try to use your common sense to figure out what do you believe in. And all right, let's move on from this. Oh wait, you want to talk about like why James Milne was criticized for using apparently sexist language in his workplace? He used the word babes and chicks or some shit like. I'll read it. I'll find it up. So apparently he used the word. Wait. Okay, he used the word chicks, but never used the word babes in the workplace. And they were saying that as a senior member of the team, you're not supposed to call your like your people in your workforce using these terms. And he was saying, I mean, his reason, which would be my reason if I was caught under this kind of storm.
Careful.
Is no, you're just using it to try to relax the workforce, to make it a less formal type of workplace environment, right? I mean,
my experiences in the Australian culture workplace is that it tends to be quite, how to say, it's not as uptight or as formal as maybe work environments in other countries. So when I used to where I used to work, it was very, like, we could make jokes, maybe sometimes non-PC jokes amongst our friends, obviously amongst our colleagues or friends, and all that sort of stuff. And whenever we had, like, I guess, people who secondees or whatever from Europe and America, and we, and we make some of those jokes in the office. They are just like, oh, dude, you can't say that. You can't say that. Like, oh, how can you say that? It's a workplace. And all the local Australian people are just more like, dude, it's just a joke and we're all friends here.
it's just a fucking joke, can't.
Obviously there are lines, and obviously you gotta, if you meet someone new at work, you're not going to, make an inappropriate joke at a time, but amongst your friends, within the workplace, like where you understand context and you understand, where they're coming from.
Nuances.
Yeah, the nuances is not really that big a deal. So yeah, it's just
No, because there's a joke that James Milner was calling Michelle Guthrie the Missus or something,
Yeah.
referred to her as the Missus as a joke, right? Like,
but without context, I wouldn't, you can't
unpack this, right?
And also I would say my gut reaction and my initial reaction would be like, I don't think that's a big a deal. Like, I've called, my my female managers my missus as well. Just because, you answer to her, right?
I guess, like, Justin, you're no longer gonna get any more bosses, man.
Yeah, man.
The University of Melbourne language professor, which the ABC News article reached out to try to unpack or like try to break it down. He said John Hajek said that this sort of language undermines women because you change them from an adult into children or small animals, like using the word chicks. And apparently it's clearly disempowering. Most workplaces wouldn't freely allow the use of those demeaning terms.
Is chick a demeaning term though?
I don't think so. Like, for me, when I call a chick, whoa, I hold her in high regard, like.
What do I say? Oh yeah, oh, she's a pretty cool chick.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, is that demeaning? I'm not trying to be facetious or whatever. I'm just, it's a genuine question. Is that demeaning?
I don't think so, man. Like, I call like chick, like a hot chick. I'll be like, wow, she's she's hot. Like. I respect women, by the way. Just saying, like, really, I really do.
Everyone on this show speaks for themselves, by the way.
So you don't respect
women?
No,
I respect women as
so
well.
we both respect
anything that Peter says, please, there's not. I do not automatically agree with him.
You're
I'm just putting that. I'm just putting that out right now.
The first episode, you're distancing yourself already. Okay, we love women. Let's end it as that. We love women.
Actually, do you want to talk about the Brett Kavanaugh thing that's going on right now?
Yeah,
especially with the Senate Judiciary hearing that went on last night.
Oh, do you see what happened to the swing vote, dude? The Senator Jeff Flake.
Jeff Flake, yeah.
Yeah, Jeff Flake. Jeff Flake. It fits
Yeah, but
perfectly well.
But Jeff Flake's an idiot anyway.
What do you mean? Why?
Like, just historically, like he's.
Okay. I don't know that.
Yeah.
But like his name fits it so perfectly well because he started off by saying, "Yes, I choose to vote Kavanaugh in." Then, I mean, this is a more serious case. Two sexual assault survivors came up to him. Alleged.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, the ones that came up to him.
Yeah. No, that was for. I don't know if it's for real, but okay.
Yeah, and they were like,
they basically,
how could you do this?
Yeah, how can you do this? Look me in the eyes. And then he flaked, just like his namesake. He flaked, and he said, all right, let's convene in a week's time after some more FBI, like after an FBI background check.
So is the FBI investigation actually happening?
I'm pretty sure it is. No, yes, it is, because they needed 2 senators to agree with this, and Jeff Flake and a woman senator both called for it.
Right.
And I don't know whether Trump was doing something political or I'm not sure whether Trump initiated it, but Trump was saying, okay, I think we should do this after a FBI check. But who knows?
No,
Trump talks shit all the time.
he has no choice.
Yeah, true.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So just to give a bit of background, Brett Kavanaugh is a judge in the U.S.
yeah.
After the death of Antonin Scalia, who is a Supreme Court justice. There's a vacancy in the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court is the highest court in the United States of America. A lot of landmark decisions go through the Supreme Court. Landmark decisions which not only have a major impact on America but on the world.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court, for example, ruled on Roe versus Wade, which is the abortion bill.
And the Muslim ban as well.
Yes, the Muslim ban. They rejected the Muslim ban when Trump first came into office. They were also the ones that approved gay marriage in America. So the Supreme Court their decisions have very big implications for
What
both
gets passed.
America and in the world.
Yeah.
So Antonin Scalia passed away a few months back. And so it's usually the job of the president to nominate a candidate to fill the seat. And once you're on the Supreme Court, once you're a judge on the Supreme Court, it's a lifetime appointment. So you sit there essentially until you die.
Yeah. 50
So-
years, right? 50 years or something.
It's a lifetime appointment.
Yeah, lifetime appointment.
Lifetime appointment.
Yeah, so this is a very important
So
case.
the issue with Supreme Court nominations, always, regardless of who's the president or who's not, is that can you just look up how many Supreme Court justices there are? I think there are 8, if I'm not wrong. But essentially, these people that are nominated, they're nominated by the president, and the president at the time who nominates them obviously will sit in America either on the Democratic or Republican Party. So
I think that 9.
all right.
So
So
settling at the present total of 9.
all right. So their nominations, obviously, they'll nominate a judge who reflects, I guess, Democratic or
Yeah,
Republican
yeah.
values. So the appointment, if Brett Kavanaugh gets appointed, essentially the Democrats are a bit upset that there'll be a 5-4
5 to 4, yeah,
Republican
majority,
majority, I guess, candidates on the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
And yeah, this is just going on from obviously the conservatives in America did not like the idea that Roe vs. Wade was passed.
Yeah.
They did not like that gay marriage was passed and all that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
this is as with any Supreme Court justice nomination, it is a big nomination. But the interesting part of the story is now this guy, after he's nominated, a lady came out. Who's this Dr. Ford?
Dr. Ford,
Dr.
yeah.
Ford, and she alleges that he sexually assaulted her while in high school.
Yeah, I think high school, not mistaken, but the story is basically he drank, apparently the story, he drank till he blacked out or something, and then he went on to assault her or something, I don't know, but something.
Yeah, and then a few days ago, another woman came out and said that
he drugged her, right?
well, he drugged her pretty much.
Is it the Quaaludes?
Yeah, with the Quaaludes in the beer
That
at the
Wolf
party.
of Wall Street Quaalude? Because that's
Quaaludes.
strong, man. That shit's strong.
And yeah, he was and pretty much he facilitated in her getting, I don't know if like gang raped is the right word.
Oh yeah,
But-
they ran a train on her.
Yeah, pretty much.
They ran a
That's what
train
she
on.
alleges. That's what she alleges. But there's also, and that apparently that happened in college.
Yeah, in
university.
uni,
Yeah.
in Stanford, right? In Stanford or something.
Yale, yeah.
Yale. Oh fuck.
Yale.
This
So-
guy's been okay. I mean, he might be a bad dude, but damn, he might be a smart guy.
So I mean, he's definitely smart. I mean, you don't
Stanford
get to
and
be
Yale, right?
yeah. I mean, you don't get to be chief justice, or you don't get to be the position where he's now by no means smart.
What about Papa, Mama? Maybe the dad of I don't know. In America, there's a lot of was it nepotism as well?
Yeah,
isn't
yeah.
there?
I think this guy does come from a background of fortune, but not. I mean, I think in
Okay, let's
general
move towards
he's
what-
widely known to be like a smart guy.
Let's move to the importance of this case. What's the What does this case symbolize?
So it's very interesting because there was a Senate Judiciary hearing on Friday night, and essentially they had Dr. Ford testify.
Only Dr. Ford. out
Yeah,
of
only
the four,
only
yeah.
her, and they had Brett Kavanaugh there as well.
Hmm.
Kavanaugh the whole time has consistently denied any of these allegations, and he also produced a letter signed by 64 women that he's known personally and professionally,
Yep.
who have attested to his character and attested to him being someone who has treated women with
Right,
respect at all
sidebar.
times.
Do you think you could get 64 women for you if you in that case to get that?
I don't even know 64 women, man.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, just wondering. I'm trying to count. I don't think so too. All right, continue.
Yeah, and so
That's a lot of women, right? 64.
I mean, the thing is like, I don't know how well he knows all this. Like,
You reckon he banged any of them?
Oh well, there is. Yeah, he definitely did one of them.
Oh yeah, the wifey, right?
Renate or Renate or whatever her name is. But anyway,
Okay. Oh, you seem to know a lot about this politic gossip.
yeah. I mean, like I was
follow.
reading. I was following this case or the developments yesterday,
Yeah.
and so essentially, there's two things at play here, right?
Yeah.
One is that, all right, this idea of whether he sexually assaulted them or not is one thing, and there's too much. It's too blurry, right? Like one side is saying no, one side is saying yes. I don't think there's really been compelling evidence on either side, because that whatever
Agreed.
evidence has been presented by either side has been refuted and has been sort of, there is some form of evidence to say that, like, I kind of doubt what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the thing is, so I think there's two issues here that are the core. One is that these alleged offences happened once in high school, once in the first year of university, and so obviously, there's questions over if he actually did these things.
Yeah.
If he actually did these things, were they were they done, in youthful exuberance? So you make mistakes as a kid.
Yeah. No
I think
shit.
I think we can all agree.
one
we
day,
all,
one episode, we'll just talk
Yeah.
about the funny shit.
yeah,
that
but we
did.
all did stupid shit when we were a kid, and shit which we probably are not proud of and kind of regret.
I like to think I don't maybe won't regret. I just say, man, I have some funny stories to tell.
Yeah, okay. But
But I did not assault anyone.
But now the guy's like what, 50 years old, 60
Yeah.
years old, like, and you obviously change as a person.
Yeah.
When you're 18, when you're 21,
I'm gonna
compared to
cut
when
that
you're
shit
50.
out about not assaulting. I'm gonna cut that shit out. All right, all right.
Yeah,
Yo, you continue.
I
I'm gonna
think
go to toilet for 2
I
seconds.
think you should cut that shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's this argument around, like, if you make mistakes as a kid, should you be punished for them later? And I'm just gonna point out that what that he's alleged to have done is not criminal. Like he didn't kill a person, which is criminal. One of them is that he flashed a girl in his first year of uni, and the other one is that he sexually harassed the Dr. Ford. I'm not sure if the allegation is rape or not. I don't think it is. I think the allegation is sexual harassment. So what he's alleged to have done has not been classified as criminal. And so, should you be penalized, or should you be, is there some level of understanding that needs to come for, when you do things in your youth, you make mistakes in your youth. So that's one big issue.
Yeah, I think we can unpack that another day. I think that would be a very good topic for another day. To finish it off, because right now they're still under investigation.
Well, the idea was that the Democrats weren't necessarily opposing the nomination, because what happens is that after you get nominated, you go to a vote in the Senate, and obviously the majority wins. So
Yeah.
the Republicans hold a 51-49 majority in the Senate.
Yeah, no, apparently, yeah.
So
But
and-
Jeff flaked on them.
yeah. So so the Democrats were actually just pushing for a FBI investigation into these allegations.
Yeah, I think apparently I read a very good opinion piece in Bloomberg on Bloomberg, and they were saying the result of this case doesn't really matter apparently because the Republicans will still get to pick a nomination, right? They still get to pick. If it's not Brett Kavanaugh, it would just be another Republican nomination apparently from what I've read.
Yeah,
But the only thing, the only the only result or consequence of this is apparently that this case symbolizes the ever-growing strength of tribalism within American politics.
I think American politics has
Always been, right? Like,
it definitely has not always been, but in recent times it has gone. The right has gone further right, the left has gone further left.
Yeah.
And in American politics, it's really these two factions which are arguing with each other.
Yeah.
The second issue that's come up with this Brett Kavanaugh thing is that, a lot of Republicans are saying that, a lot of these allegations are false, unsubstantiated, and, the Democrats are essentially pulling anything they
Any
can.
trick under the book, right?
They're using any trick to try to block it, and it's disgraceful, and it's an
right.
insult to the integrity of the court and all that sort of stuff.
I agree.
Lindsey Graham is who is a senior Republican figure, and who was also one of the guys in the running for the Republican nomination for president in the last election. Is very adamant about that. He says that this is one of the most disgraceful things he's seen in politics, about bipartisan
Politics.
Yeah, bipartisan politics about intentionally just trying to disrupt and trying to block. Some people agree with it.
Would you
some
say
people
it's because the Republicans did it last time and Democrats just want revenge? Because they were saying that, like, the opinion piece wrote that if the Democrats do, like, manage to disrupt this, the Republicans will come bite them back later in the future.
Well, what happened?
Look at America. Look at Australian politics. Look at what Malcolm. Look at what Tony Abbott did. He just what a backstabbing motherfucker.
I mean, yeah, but Australian politics is like.
Is it worse? Would you say it's worse?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. While they are, it is getting more polarized.
Yeah, more like America.
There's still more, centers, and there's still
more centers.
And the majority of voices are still centers, whether it's center left, center right, whatever. As can be seen, because Peter Dutton didn't, it's not prime minister right now.
Thank God.
I thought the whole fiasco was so stupid. Like, wouldn't you instigate a spill only if you were sure you had the votes? But what an idiot.
It made their pie look weaker. But apparently Scott Morrison, from what I've been reading recently, it's not bad. Locked it down a little. Or you still think there's going to be a Labour is going to win the next election, hands down? Because that was the consensus right after the spillover when Turnbull left.
Honestly, I don't know enough about Australian politics and how how the game is played, so to speak, in order to speak. Like, for example, in the US, it's easy to see, right?
Yeah.
Like, in the US, you're going to get your coastal states, which are always going to vote Democrat.
Yeah.
Middle America, mostly, which vote Republican. And there's a few states which are swing states, which are really the battlegrounds, right? States like New Hampshire, states like
Iowa, is it?
Like Iowa, Florida, and Florida, right? Those are really the purple states, right? Yeah. So that's where the American elections won. For Australia, I'm not really sure how the game is played. So I really can't say whether Labour will win the next one or not.
All right. Okay. Shall we move on from this? Shall we talk about Trump then? Shall we talk about the main mans of America? Shall we talk about just quickly go through his UN address? Man, when I watched that video, it reminded me of like someone from your life. Probably you've been to like an assembly where someone does a shitty ass presentation, and the person laughs at them. Or like, have you seen someone do a really shitty presentation, like try to be funny, and you laugh because you feel bad?
Yeah.
This is like, this guy really tanked, and you shouldn't be laughing, but someone just like snickers.
So the thing is that after he gave the speech, right? Like, there was all these news articles which came out saying that people were laughing at him. I watched it, and
there wasn't.
All right.
There was Snickers. There was Snickers.
There was definitely laughs.
Yeah.
My administration has accomplished more than almost any administration in the history of our country. America's so true. Didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay.
The thing is, and I understand why people say like, he intended for, he didn't expect to get laughs, but I don't know. I'm a bit like, surely he knows people are gonna laugh at this. So basically, he said he's achieved more.
I'll put it in. I'm gonna put it in post.
Yeah, he's achieved more in 2 years than any other president has in the history of America.
Once you said that, there was a.
That was not. That was audible like ha-has, right? Like, there were
there was
laughs.
a snicker.
There were
I'll
laughs.
put it in, and oh my, it was so fucking funny.
And I'm honestly not sure if like
no, but okay.
he didn't expect to get a laugh.
Yeah, he
Like,
didn't. He thought it would be a really flat, like no one would say anything.
No, like I wouldn't be surprised if he put that line in knowing that he would get a laugh. Because when I saw it,
I
I
know what
didn't
you mean.
immediately think that like like you look at his facial expression, his reaction after, like I don't know, like I didn't really feel like he was like there was like
so
oh
that's what so that's what you're gonna do.
No, I
Oh,
mean,
so that's
no.
how it is, or something like
nah,
that.
he said like, oh, I didn't expect to get a reaction like that.
Yeah.
But like
Then he said it again. He
but
said,
maybe it's a bit like a joke, right? I'm not too sure. Like I'm not too sure.
No, I think he truly believes he's been saying this what do you say? He's been saying this ever since before the election. Like, I'm gonna put America first, and yeah, that's what he's been saying. And I've done more than he's been saying all the time. Every time he can, he said, "I've done more than the Obama administration."
Yeah, but it's one thing to say that shit to like to
his fans,
the
to his
news
core
outlets,
base.
and also at his political rallies, and it's another thing to say at the UN General Conference. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and and like, let's not forget, like these speeches are not written by Donald Trump. They're written by speechwriters.
Yeah.
They know, like, and like the words that are used in these speeches are very deliberate.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, when Trump
On
said,
accident.
He likes to say like, America first, and then he would say America first again. He stresses the simple words. Apparently, I watched a very good piece about breaking Trump's political campaign down, saying that he's a very good manipulator. Like, he's very good at, I wouldn't say convincing, but his message are very simple, very low level language, but it cuts through. You remember what he says. Think about it.
I mean, Peter, I remember a lot of things that you say. It doesn't mean that
No, I'm not saying it's smart.
very convincing.
No, but it remember you remember it. That's one of like a thing about Trump's speeches. Very simple.
Yeah, but you remember like.
I'm cutting this shit. Whatever.
I mean, you remember a lot of stupid things. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like-
No, yeah. But I'm just trying to say that's why Trump is always in everyone's head.
I mean, yeah, of course. Like he plays the media very well.
Yeah.
He understands the media machine.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yeah.
But coming back to the speech, the words that are in that speech and the words that he said are very deliberate, and they're written by speechwriters who
Yeah.
will have a gauge of what.
What he would say, kinda.
No, they have a gauge on what the audience is thinking and what and what needs and the way that the message is presented to this audience. So for that line to stay in the speech, and for that line, I just find it hard. Rather, I question a bit whether, all this media saying that, oh, he didn't mean it as a joke and now the president's a laughing stock. So I'm just not 100% sure I believe that.
So it was an intentional joke.
Maybe it was, intentionally meant as a joke, because these, like I said, these speeches are vetted and written multiple times by professional speechwriters who know what they're doing.
So would you say Trump has not given but apparently, I think I remember one time they were saying that Trump went off script. Sometimes he goes off script.
Yeah, but if you watch any Trump like speech, and this was not off script. This is
okay.
This was, you can see he's reading. You can see in the video he's reading the teleprompter, and there's some like non sequiturs within the that
whole
he always
speech.
does
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the speech. He goes, oh yeah, there was a line about there's bad things happening in Iran. very, very bad.
Bad.
You know, like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
exactly like how, and
That-
you can
that's
tell
his
like
thing.
he's
That's
putting
his
in his
thing.
own thing, right?
Yeah.
But the rest of the way he's talking it's very scripted, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I mean, he works around the script. Like he works with the script, and he has his own
or rather,
embellishments.
he probably has advisors who are saying, "You better not freaking straight from this script. This is the U.S. General Assembly." Like, you know,
I still think
there's a difference between talking at your rally where you can say whatever the hell you want and people are gonna lap it up, and talking to the world's leaders.
I still don't. I still think he thinks he's. You know, like I still think. I know what you're saying, but I still think he goes. He still has that rebel
No,
in him.
when
you
he
know?
rants and he goes off script, you know, it's very obvious.
Very obvious. Yeah.
It's very obvious.
Oh, Twitter. Let's look at Twitter.
No, I mean in terms of the like when he speaks publicly.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about public speeches, right? It's very obvious that he's ranting and he's going off script. It's very obvious. What you watch this UN thing, he's not going off script that much. Yeah, there's a few embellishments here and there, but he's not like. I mean, we've all seen like Trump speeches, especially his rallies, where he's talking off the cuff.
Yeah.
He's talking some insane
The
amount
Republicans always saying-
of ridiculous bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just, yeah. But this is definitely not one of those cases.
Okay. So would you say perfectly executed then, as what the speech writers intended it to?
I don't know, but
That's what you
all I'm
think
saying
it
is
is.
I don't buy into this idea 100% that, you know, he meant to say these things and he meant to be taken seriously, or it wasn't meant to be a joke or something like that.
There were a lot of people who came after him, which took a lot of slight disses at him because Trump made a big case about, you know, anti-globalization and you know, nationalism, protectionism,
Yeah, our nation, like nations, like sovereign nations.
sovereign nations. Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that he's totally wrong. Sometimes nations should put themselves in front, right? If you think about it, right? They should. So, but everyone else took the opportunity to stamp on him. Like the Rouhani speech was really.
I mean, no, but Iran did that because he went after Iran.
He went after
in
Iran,
his
yeah.
speech, right?
No,
he
but
said
he-
Iran are the biggest enabler of terrorism today.
Yeah, but he did a really good, very good speech and convincing. Like not convincing, but he just did a very good.
I mean,
intelligent
if you listen to the speech or you read the transcript, right?
Yeah.
The speech itself is not a bad speech,
Yeah.
right? There's some ideas in there which I don't agree with,
but
but
Iran or Trump?
in the speech as a whole, right? There's
You're
some,
talking about Trump's?
yeah.
Trump's
There's
supposed
some
to- yeah, of
there's some
course.
ideas in there which I don't personally believe, but
The Israel
you know,
one?
but it doesn't mean that if I don't personally believe in that the speech was bad.
Yeah,
You know,
no,
the
true,
speech
true,
was
true.
the speech was good and it spoke to, you know, what he wants in the world. I just think it's the wrong direction.
Yep. No, I thought Rouhani's speech when he said he basically labeled Trump a Nazi.
Yeah, but Iranians are no saints either.
Yeah,
so,
true,
you know.
true. So, actually, what's your take on the Iran thing? Do you think they should have that nuclear deal or?
The thing about the nuclear deal is when Obama signed it before he left office, the thing on the main issue on the Republican side was that it was a self-policing agreement where
Yeah.
the deal was essentially that Iran would self-police
Yeah.
and would, you know, essentially have their own guys saying like checking whether they would develop nuclear weapons, have nuclear facilities, all that sort of stuff. And the Republicans are saying like, you know, these guys are bad guys,
Yep.
and we're asking the bad guys
To check themselves.
to check themselves, right? Obviously, there was going to be some counter checks by
by the UN.
by the UN,
Yeah.
but essentially that was a deal, and essentially that was the argument. And in return for that, the US would lift certain sanctions.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, that the Iran deal was fiercely opposed by Republicans,
Yep.
and you know, looking back, I'm really not sure the effectiveness of the deal. Although
Yeah.
the deal only happened 2015, right? But I'm not sure on the effectiveness. Obviously, the U.S. intelligence would know more, but whether it was effective in accomplishing what it wanted to accomplish, which was to denuclearize Iran, I'm really not sure what the
Let's get into
outcome of it
this
was.
after a bit more study. But I thought Rouhani's. I don't know much about Rouhani, but I liked his speech where he said, challenging multilateralism is a symptom of weakness of intellect. So it's basically saying like the fact that you don't want to try to, confronting multilateralism is not a sign of strength. Rather, it's a symptom of weakness of intellect, which I thought was great. Though.
So that comes essentially that just comes down to the core, the core issue of Trump's whole ideology, right?
Yeah,
which is
sovereignty
or globalization.
Yeah, anti-globalization. He's anti-globalization.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So sovereignty is the anti-globalization and globalization, right?
Yeah.
And so it comes down to your personal view on what is good and what is bad. You know, a lot of people agree with this idea of sovereignty, and I don't necessarily disagree either.
Yeah. Look
But-
at Mahathir.
But I also don't necessarily disagree with some level of globalization. I'll tell you what my personal view on this is. My personal view on this is that I do not mind so much that the US is, so-called trying to become a more sovereign nation or trying to, put themselves first more.
Yeah, the people
But-
first. Yeah.
Having said that, I question the long-term implications. So the reason that the U.S. has sort of gone to this more conservative stance, I think, immigration is part of the issue,
Yeah.
but economically as well, they're afraid of China,
Yeah.
and China has always been a China first nation.
Yeah. Always.
And so historically, when the U.S. started to expand, and gain influence in the world, the U.S. were the ones that decided that we're going to involve ourselves in the politics.
Yeah.
And-
Be a global
Yeah,
super nation.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to involve themselves in the
Global
world,
police. Yeah.
right? And what's happened, right, is that while the U.S. has ended up, maybe they're paying more than they should, so to speak, for NATO defense.
Yeah.
Maybe they are losing on, or rather their trade deals are a bit outdated in terms of, maybe.
No, basically globalization. They're getting the short end of the stick of the deal, essentially.
No, but are they though? Because here's the thing, right? If you ask most nations today, who do you trust more? Do you trust China or the U.S.?
They say US.
They're going to say the U.S., right?
Yeah.
So are these things, right? Are these so-called costs to the U.S. monetarily, right? Is it being used to buy
Equity.
equity and goodwill with these nations, right? And this is the geopolitical nature of politics, right?
Yeah.
It's not all about economies. It's about It's about geopolitics as well. Like the U.S. maintains army bases in the Philippines. They maintain army bases
In a lot of places.
Japan.
In a lot of places.
Yeah, in all these
a lot of
places, right?
Yeah.
And there's a reason why a lot of these countries
But you can buy
don't
that.
kick them out.
You can buy that shit as well. Look at China. I mean, China doesn't have good relations with a lot of them, but they buy a lot of their friends.
Exactly, right? But they buy them with money.
Yeah.
Right? And so when the US signs a trade deal with Japan, maybe they lose out slightly on the trade
money,
trade deal.
but they get the.
But then they say, hey, don't kick us out from our military base. Right? And the reason that the US wants to maintain these bases, right, is because whenever there's a conflict that happens in the world, they want to be there. They want to get involved.
They want to
right?
get the action.
Yeah, and also, when they want to go to war, they call their allies, right?
Yeah.
And their allies are the ones that, because you've been good to, in some senses, because you've been good to us, we'll help you out.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think what's happening now is that you see the U.S. right?
No, we'll see. When the time comes, that's when you actually see whether that those go. Because China could be like, for example, if theoretically, hypothetically speaking, if China and U.S. do go into war, even though you have a trade deal with that person and that person's going to lose, surely the guys would switch code. There will be people who would switch code.
No, of course. But what I'm saying is that
I know what you're
you've
trying
got
to
the
say.
U.S. now that's going towards that. All right, we're going to take care of ourselves. We're going to pull out of so-called bad trade deals. We're going to pull out of the Paris Climate Change Agreement.
Yeah.
We're going to pull out of.
Which is not beneficial for us.
We're going to pull out of all these things, right?
Yeah.
Like we're going to pull out the Security Council, all that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then China, on the other hand, are saying, no, we agree to the Paris Agreement.
Yeah.
We agree to the Security Council. China wants to be
That
a
vacuum
friend
of
to the
space.
world,
Yeah.
right? So what is happening here, right? Because Donald Trump is saying China is overtaking the U.S. China's, we are the U.S. We are a global superpower, right? Why is it that China is the one that's overtaking us? No, I'm gonna bring the good deals back to America.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's kind of funny as the U.S. retreats, China
China
is trying to reach out and become
take that
more
vacuum of
more
space, yeah.
friendly with the rest of the world, whether it's genuine or not.
Yeah.
Who really knows, right?
yeah.
But China, the way I see it, right, is that while the U.S. is closing up, China is opening up even more.
Yeah.
And there'll come a time where people are gonna say, hey, like the US wants us to do A and China wants us to do B.
Yeah. Who
And
would they pick?
Yeah,
at the
who would
end?
you choose? And right now, most countries would say, oh, I'll go with the US, right?
Yeah.
But I can definitely foresee a time where they
When
go,
China- yeah.
no, we'll go, like, they are our friends, they are our allies,
Mm.
right? So it's this geopolitical idea that I'm very fascinated with and I'm very interested in.
Yeah, of
and
course.
I think long term, what is happening in the US hurts the US more.
Yeah. It's basically in a simple way of putting it, is like, whose party you going to? China's party or the US party?
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Shall we move on? What you want to talk about? You want to talk about 6ix9ine?
You know, 6ix9ine. Also, the Carter 5 dropped yesterday.
Oh yeah, I listened to it. Not bad. Respect to Carter. He found Drake, but
Is it a good album? I haven't listened to it. Is it a good album?
it's not bad.
Is it
It's not
worth?
bad.
Is it worth the wait?
Obviously not. I mean, sorry, Lil Wayne, if you listen. I still love your music, but
Is Weezy the GOAT?
no, let's just celebrate the fact that he's out here still making music, and I hope he still, he sound very cohesive. Last few projects he dropped, it sounded very not the last two mixtape. The last two mixtape were good, but the ones before, the last 2-3 years, he was taking a lot of drugs, got a lot of seizures.
Got
a
on
lot,
that lean, bro.
yeah, too much lean. But when he
Scissor.
when he announced the fucking album last week or a few days ago, he had a double cup in his hand. But nowadays, I know a lot of people hold these double cup, but inside is water. Usually it's water. It's just for show.
Dude, he's still doing the lean, man. Come on.
Could be. I don't think so. If you listen to the music, it's the most cohesive. He sounds very in touch with he sounds very sober, and his music was good. It's very nostalgic. If you used to listen to Carter 3 and stuff.
I mean, because it's it's a professional recording, right? Amy Winehouse sounds sober on her albums.
No, go listen to Lil Wayne's the mixtapes in 2015, 2016. You could tell that guy was on something. And it was terrible. And no, but if you listen to music now, a very focused Wayne. Yeah, great project. But I still think it's not up with the best albums of the year so far. I'm pretty sure. But it was good.
Rip.
No, I still think he's GOAT. Respect to Weezy. Yeah. I mean, if you want to talk more about news about that, apparently news came out that Birdman, he's not his father, but a guy who he claimed is his dad, apparently sent a hit for him. News came out he sent Young Thug's manager to go shoot up Lil Wayne's bus, which happened a few years ago. News information came up that Birdman basically paid for a hit on his own son, Lil Wayne.
But Lil Wayne is not Birdman's son.
No, they have like a relationship where they're like father and son. There's a video on YouTube of them kissing with their mouth, just like how Tom Brady kisses his 12-year-old boy.
Speaking of 12-year-old kids,
All right, let's talk about my man.
your idol.
Yo. I'm just saying.
Oh no! All right,
Justin is
no.
reaching.
But before we go there, I'm gonna ask you one question.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask you one question.
Who's
right?
Kiki?
Now, if a 30-year-old man texts a 14-year-old girl, and says stuff like, "I miss you. What are you doing today? Da da da. Tell me about your day." Do you think that's appropriate?
Depending on the context.
Oh yeah. All right. If it's not a person who is your nephew or your niece,
Oh, no familiar.
no family connection.
What if he's like the godfather or something, or his mentor?
Yeah. All right. No family connection.
Yeah. What is his mentor? Like godfather is not really like that. You're not by blood, right? Like you're
I mean, yeah, but it's still considered
or like your mentor. Your mentor.
family. All right. So what is it? 30-year-old man and a 14-year-old girl, and he's part of the after school program.
The after school program.
Yeah. All right. You know what? I can.
Okay. What about if they're in the same industry and this guy spots that she has a lot of talent and he's just trying to help her out in the industry because this industry is filled with snakes. # Taylor Swift.
No, I
Hashtag Kanye West.
No, I think that's fine, but I'm not sure at what part of that conversation where it says, "Yo, I want to help you in this industry. I think you have a lot of talent." It becomes, "Hey, I miss you. Hey, what are you up to?"
No, it could be like,
Hey, what are you
I miss
doing?
you. Or it could be, I miss you, man. How are you? How do you say it, right? Do you think like he's going like,
All right, so Peter, for you.
let's just reveal who we're talking about right now. All right, let's not keep. This is not some inquiry where there's like a injunction or something where you can't name no names. You know, speak on his name with respect.
You speak.
right?
You speak on his name.
He's
He's
talking
your
about
guy.
the goat. He's talking about Drizzy Drake, man. He's talking about Six God Aubrey Graham. All right, and with his so-called pedophilic relationship, alleged
I didn't say pedophilic. I just say it's a bit suspect.
suspect. Okay, suspect relationship with Millie Bobby Brown, 11. I can't wait for season 3. By the way,
14 years old, by the way.
I think she's 15.
Oh, okay.
This year.
That makes things better.
But no, I think you're just reaching. People are just reaching. People are trying to take him down.
Peter,
because he's number one.
Peter, you coach
14-year-old
14-year-old girls in the soccer team, right?
Yeah,
How many do you text message?
none.
How many do you have?
Friends? No, none.
Do you
They only
consider
see them 1
friends?
hour a week, and it's in the supervision of their parents.
Yep,
I got working with children card. I'll put down the number if required to. But yeah,
it's a fake card.
no, it's not. Yo, you crazy man.
So you coach all these 14-year-old girls, and you don't text them. You know, you don't consider them friends. You don't anything, right?
Yeah.
Do you think it's weird if you did?
I think it's a false equivalency, right? Like I'm not like this is like in the movie industry or something where who knows, Drake is a producer of a movie, he might want her to do one of his movies or something.
You know one of the biggest conspiracies, or biggest sort of conspiracy theories in the entertainment industry is that it's run by pedophiles, right?
Yeah.
So it's quite ironic that you say that.
Nah, Drake is a good guy. Okay, you're just reaching. We'll see. Okay.
Why is he texting this 14-year-old girl, man?
No, he's apparently. Oh, they asked her, and she said he helps me with boys. Help him deal with boys.
A 14-year-old girl asking advice from boys from a 31-year-old man.
He probably has more experience than her fellow female
No,
friends.
like think about this realistically. A 14-year-old girl
Okay,
asking
what they're
advice from
messaging
boys
about
from a
then.
31-year-old man.
Let's just talk about this specific case. I know what you're trying to say. In general, this is unacceptable. So I wouldn't say unacceptable, but it's a very weird topic. It depends. It's a very, very complex issue.
If you had a daughter, right, and she was texting a 31-year-old man
You
asking
mean you? Okay, imagine I have a 30-year-old. If I had a daughter right now and he's texting you,
yeah,
it depends. I trust
and
you.
asking me about boys,
I trust you.
I'll be like, yo, Peter, tell your daughter stop texting me, man.
Yeah, but like Drake might be different. Maybe he can offer some advice that you can't offer or like refuse. I don't know. We don't know the inner workings of their relationship, so you cannot say anything. You shouldn't say anything. Oh, you can make a comment. Yeah, I don't think it's inappropriate. You think it's inappropriate, but who knows? They asked her and she said, "Yo, stop making this weird."
Yo,
she's
of course,
just-
of
he's just a
course,
good
of
friend.
course, the 14-year-old girl is gonna say, "Oh, he's Drake, right?" Of course, she's gonna say,
But she's a
Oh.
superstar in her own right. She doesn't.
"She's
need-
not a superstar.
She's one of the hottest stars in the world right
She's
now.
not a superstar, right? I didn't even know who she was."
Okay, but okay, I think this is more of a reach.
Of course, the 14-year-old girl is gonna be like, "Oh no, we're just." Of course, she wants to be in his she wants to be in his circle, right? She's 14.
Okay, I think this is more of a reach than the 16-year-old girl he supposedly groomed.
I mean,
And I
like-
still
like-
that's
like I
another
said,
piece
like,
of bullshit.
I'm just gonna put it out like I don't believe that Drake is a pedophile.
Yeah.
But I do think that this is a bit suspect. It's like, yo, dude, stop texting this 14-year-old girl.
Okay,
Like,
fair
or if you want to text her, that's fine. Why don't you talk about like industry stuff instead of like, hey, I'm having boy troubles. Can you help me? It's like, oh yeah, tell me about your boy troubles, girl. Or oh, I miss you. What are you doing today?
You know, Drake,
Like,
he's always talking about that love shit. Maybe he's got love like experience. Maybe he's he's that crooning guy. So she's probably listening to his music and going like, man, what goes through a mind of a boy?
of a 31-year-old man.
No, but he's been like singing about these songs since he was 18. So he might have he could dig down into his
Have you
18-year-old
have you ever read those stories about like those real online pedophiles and like what
to catch a predator?
yeah and like what
No.
they talk about with these like young girls online and
I actually
stuff?
don't.
It's the
What-
exact same shit, right? It's
I
the
don't
exact
know.
same
I
like
don't
trying to
know.
gain their trust, right? As I say, you know, like,
I know how you feel.
yeah, what trouble with boys are you having? Oh, you know, da da. Oh no, a boy shouldn't treat you that way. I'd treat you better. Da 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 da
Man,
da.
those are. Do you know there are people? Oh man, I hate those guys who defends like there's some guys who like sides with the girls because he wants to bang them or he wants their attention or you know those type of people,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I fucking hate those people. I just want to put it out there.
Can't think of names right now, but
Shall we name some names?
No naming names.
Oh, sorry. No, dude, we're not famous enough to lose friends right now. But once we're famous, we're gonna name some names. Hey, fuck you, man.
Yo, Drake,
Yo.
stop it, bro.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Just stop it, man.
I mean, if I could speak to Drake, I mean, like, yo, you should keep this shit down pat, man. Build Neverland Ranch or something.
I mean, I'm not even saying keep it down low. I'm just saying stop it, man.
okay,
Just stop.
Stop talking to her. Cut all ties.
You don't have to cut all ties, but it's just like, yo, no more I miss you texts, all right?
I'm just telling you. You know, if you're famous, and for example, like you're friends with a kid or something, right? 14, just whatever, like boy or girl. And once y'all become like, imagine like, oh, I actually am good friends with you, but we can't hang till you're 18. And then you start hanging when you're 18, people will be like accusing you of grooming them.
Peter, in what scenario would I be friends with a 14-year-old boy or girl?
What if you did a movie with them? Like, as in like you were the dad or something,
Yeah,
and you just got along really well. Like,
I'm not their friend.
no, but what if
We're
you did get along
co-workers.
with them? What if you get along with them and you became friends?
Peter, I'm friends with a lot of people, right? And I've never texted them, hey, I miss you.
Yeah, I'd never do that too.
Yeah.
But maybe they had that.
Regardless whether they're a guy or a girl, regardless if they're my age or not, right? Like, I've never ever texted a friend, hey, I really miss you.
I've never too.
All right.
Well, what if you have a godson or like a goddaughter and you go like, I miss you?
I think even that's a bit weird, man. But
I wouldn't do that.
But you know
I-
what? That's more like that's sort of like a family.
maybe it's a
more
white people
familiar,
thing.
right?
Maybe it's a white people. I don't know.
But like even if I had like a niece or a nephew who was 14, right?
Yeah.
And I have cousins who are like 14, right? And like I never texted them, hey, I miss you.
I think this is more of a reach. I know what you're trying to say. You think this behavior is inappropriate. You don't think he's a pedo, but this
I just think it's suspect.
a suspect. Okay, suspect. So he's still in the firing line. Innocent to proven guilty.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that's what I'm gonna
I just think
plead.
It's a bit suspect.
I'm gonna shoot that plea then. Whatever.
Speaking of rappers with underage girls, let's talk about your boy 6ix9ine.
He's not my boy, man. I fucking hate him. He's Trevor's boy. Fuck 6ix9ine, by the way. He's an industry plant. So
All right, what isn't like I don't understand like
An industry
what is an
plant-
industry plant?
an
I'm out of
indus-
touch. What
okay,
is an industry
An
plant?
industry plant is basically an artificially generated artist with basically an artificially generated story that he came from the streets and he worked really hard to get where he did today, all by himself with no major machine behind him. And no, 6ix9ine is a caricature. From my research and from enough, I think it's just not out yet, but it will be out soon. That he is created by two. I'm pretty sure that they're affiliated with the Bloods in America, and they basically found this kid and they started writing reference tracks for this kid. And one song blowed, Gummo, that track blowed up, and he's signed behind a label, but the label is very sneaky about it. So like it's not really publicized that he signed under a label, but he's actually signed under a label. And he's been making the billboards ever since. I think he's got 10 songs on the billboards in his first year, and yeah, he's killing it in America.
Yeah, but so he's backed by a record label.
He's backed by a record label. So basically, the thing about industry plant, it's not a big deal. Like for me, I don't think it's a big deal. It's basically their music just pops, but they just create a fake story that they come from the streets. Chance the Rapper is another example of a industry plant.
But Chance the Rapper was struggling for years.
No,
Not
okay.
struggling, but you know he was independent for years.
No, he was independent for years, but he had a machine that helped him, like you could say, boost his so-called streaming numbers and everything. Like for his first mixtape that he dropped,
Chance wasn't even on streams before.
just let me finish. So his first mixtape that has dropped was Acid Rap. If you are really a guy who started from the bottom, you would not be getting beats from the best producers like Primo, No ID, all these producers, big producers that produce for Jay-Z and everything.
But are those guys Chicago based?
Yeah, you could say they're Chicago based, but there's enough
So
evidence.
isn't the circle pretty tight?
No, so okay, this is the story of why Chance goes on the persona that he doesn't need a label to blow up, but he has like they were saying that he does have a label, but it's just because his story is that he doesn't have a label there to like back him. That's why a lot of people like him. He's like, oh, he's an independent artist. He's a real indie rapper. He doesn't need like Atlantic Records and shit. And
But he's signed to a label now, right?
he signed to Apple for distribution.
Right,
But I think but the fact that basically it's not a big deal. Even though he isn't, doesn't make a big difference as long as the music is good, right? Right? Like
I
I
mean-
think this industry. I personally
I
think
mean,
this is
yeah.
a stupid ass argument.
I don't really, I guess, know in depth like.
Okay,
you know,
I'll give you an
whole-
example. So usually there's some people who that like the labels made them. Like I would say, like Khalid, for example, always on the radio, right? Like, and it's his first year. I mean, even though you do make good music, it's very unlikely they'll play you on the radio. To get players on the radio, your label will pay the radio station to play X amount of times a day or whatever, right? That's a proportion of how a music gets played.
I mean, okay, but many people have gotten played on radio before. Like, so what?
No, but it's much different now. Now, I mean, like now it's easier. Now you don't really need a label. So when the industry changed a lot over the last 10 years, before streaming, you needed a radio.
Yeah, now it's all about like that SoundCloud.
That SoundCloud, exactly. So Chance the Rapper was apparently so-called a true SoundCloud rapper. He didn't need a label to put him on the radio or anything. He forced his way into the radio by getting big on SoundCloud. But so everyone heralded him as this like, oh, this guy do it like anyone can do it. Everyone can just go at home and make some music and go on it. So everyone thought he was that kid which had no help, but he did have help. He had help from all these great producers to make him where he is. So basically, his story, like his so-called story, is not as accurate as everyone
I don't
thinks
know.
it is.
As far, all right, I don't know.
It's not a big deal. It's
Yeah.
just not a big.
Well, as far as I know
about.
about Chance the Rapper specifically, I just know that he was he's in that Chicago hip hop circle,
Yeah.
Which includes
Vic
Kanye.
Mensa. No,
Um,
no,
and-
Kanye came there and said these are the youths of, but he wasn't in Kanye's circle till 2 years ago when he released The Life of Pablo, Ultra Light Beam.
no, but Kanye's name dropped him before that album. Kanye's name dropped him before Life of
After
Pablo.
Yeezus, it was after Yeezus period.
Maybe.
Yeah, so it's
I
after
can't
Yeezus
recall.
period.
But Kanye, I know that Kanye has been a fan of his, and I know that my understanding is that Chance the Rapper is one of those. You know how like in America, like there's like the local rapper who is
Yeah.
like well
Hot in the
connected.
area.
I mean, it's like you look at like Detroit and Danny Brown, right?
Yeah.
Like Danny Brown is not necessarily a superstar,
Yeah.
right? I'm not even
But in
sure.
Detroit, he is like
yeah,
king
I'm not
of
even
Detroit.
sure how well he's known like nationally in America. Yeah, but in Detroit,
He's king of Detroit or
like
something
he
like
knows
that.
he knows all the guys in the game in Detroit,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So, that's why before when you said like, Chance got all these beats from all these top producers, right? That's why I asked, but are they Chicago based?
Yeah, they are. But I'm trying to say, I mean, yeah, he knows that circle, but a lot of people thinks that he did it himself. He didn't get that no help. And he would always be rapping about like, if one more label tried to stop me, dude, you had some help from these labels, so-called like labels that
No, but did he though?
he did. Go do your research.
Where's the proof? Like what? No, what? No. Tell me what is the smoking gun?
The smoking gun. I have no smoking gun, but I'm just trying to say his story is not as accurate as what everyone thinks. His background is not as like I did it all by myself as everyone.
I'm
says
sure at
it
some
is.
point he did. Like for example, like Danny Brown, right? Like
He's 30.
Danny Brown's gonna say I did it all by myself, but he's gonna get beats from like the top producers in Detroit, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean he didn't do it by himself. He got help from his friends.
Anyways, okay. I just think I don't think like being an industry plan or a non-industry plan is a big deal.
Yeah,
but
I
it
agree.
is
I agree.
it
as
is
well,
a big deal.
I agree with
It's
that.
a big deal for hip hop fans, true hip hop fans, because the craft of hip hop was to always tell your story, your true story. But nowadays, everyone like their caricatures like 6ix9ine, this
Yeah.
nice Mexican kid talking about getting the blicky to shoot some stiffy or some shit like that. I don't know.
Do you think 6ix9ine could actually kill someone?
No, he will never kill. No, dude. This guy is a troll. He's the ultimate. He and Kanye are the biggest trolls on the internet.
I don't know. Kanye's a troll, but
You don't think
6ix9ine
Kanye's
is
a
definitely
troll?
a troll. I mean, like, if he even if he was, let's say even if Kanye was a troll, he's not a troll like 6ix9ine is a troll. Like,
oh,
you know
no.
what I mean? They're different types. You know, they're different types.
Yeah. Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
Shall we finish it off?
Yeah, sure.
You want to talk about movies,
Uh,
TV? Okay, what's the best movie you've seen so far this year?
Honestly, I haven't watched that many movies this year.
There's
So
nothing that caught your eye?
So as embarrassing as it is, I'll put out Crazy Rich Asians. It's the best movie I've seen this year. But I haven't seen many movies this year.
What's the best movie I've seen this year? Best TV show? What about best TV show?
BoJack Horseman season 5. BoJack Horseman season 5 is the best season of TV this year, easily.
Yeah, the cartoons are actually popping up. Was it Rick and Morty won an Emmy? Is it? I think they won an TV show award, Emmy award. I'm pretty sure
I have no idea.
that was a
but-
breakthrough.
But BoJack Horseman, if anyone hasn't watched it, it's on Netflix. You should watch it. It's a great show. It's not a Family Guy. It's not a Simpsons. It's animation, but it's the stuff they talk about and the themes they explore and just the show in general. It's funny. It's deep. It has some thought to it. It's a good show.
Oh,
Great
okay.
show.
I'll plug in some movies which I thought were great. I'm just grabbing the list to go through. Yeah. Oh, so you haven't? Do you watch much movies actually, Justin?
I mean, I only watch stuff if it's like people ask me to go or if like
Do you watch
it's
a
really that good.
Red Sparrow was pretty good.
Yeah,
we
it was
watched it
alright.
together. That was
It's
pretty good.
alright. Yeah, it's alright. I'm not sure it'd be like the best movie of the year though, but
Nah, I won't. But I mean, it was one of the.
A
better
Quiet
movies.
Place was pretty hyped up this year.
Do you watch it? I thought it was great.
That's it. I just know it's like Jim from The Office. The
Yeah,
Office
John
is a great- The Office is a
Krasinski.
great show. By
Hey,
the
dude,
way.
he got fucking ripped, dude. He's doing that TV show.
It's Jack Reacher now. What the
Yeah,
hell?
Jack Reacher.
Like,
Is it Jack Reacher?
from Jim to like Jack Reacher. Like, what
Is
the
he Jack
hell?
Reacher? No, he's something Clancy, right? Isn't he?
Yeah, Tom Clancy's Jack Reacher.
Oh, he's
Tom Clancy's a writer.
so that Jack Reacher is that the same character as Tom Cruise's Jack Reacher, or is that someone else?
No idea.
Yeah, I think it's the same. But anyways, I'm probably wrong. But
Maybe
oh,
I'm wrong.
Mission
Maybe it's not
Impossible
Jack
was
Reacher.
good.
Oh yeah. I heard that it was good.
Best
I
Mission
didn't
Impossible.
even know there was a Mission Impossible
Dude, after
until
watching,
like someone said, "Yo, I went to watch Mission Impossible last night." I was
you're
like,
like,
"What?
brother,
There's a
what?"
new Mission Impossible?"
dude,
At some point, the mission has to become possible, right?
man, that was really fucking lame. But okay. After watching that movie, I think Tom Cruise might be a better action star than Jackie Chan. And I'm Asian, okay?
I think they're very different though.
Okay, which is a better action star? Like, and more, like, can do more stuff.
I think Tom Cruise is a better actor for sure. I don't think anyone's denying that.
Yeah, okay, which one would you take to make a movie? And just say, like,
If I was
Not
making
Asian.
if I was making Rush Hour, I choose Jackie Chan.
not Russia.
If I was making Mission Impossible, I choose Tom Cruise. They're so different.
Man, but okay, which, in the action realm, which one would you give an award to as the best, as the greatest action movie star? I know it's different, but like, just make it objective and say who you think's more talented. I without doubt, after doing so much research on Tom Cruise, I'll go Tom Cruise.
No, but talented in what? In acting?
He can do
Tom Cruise.
acting. He can do more types of action scenes. He can fly a helicopter. He
He
can
doesn't do his own
skydive.
stunts.
He does most of his own stunts.
He doesn't do his own stunts.
Do you remember the Mission Impossible one where he was outside the plane?
Yeah.
He did it himself.
Yeah, Jackie Chan's done a lot of his own stunts as well. And Jackie Chan's
No, but Jackie Chan- I know,
actually
Jackie
martial
Chan's
arts.
stunts
Is
are-
actually trained in martial
Yeah.
arts, right? So Jackie Chan, I think, without a
No,
doubt,
but
is a
the-
better fighter.
Yeah, but Tom
Right?
Cruise trained in a lot of stuff that for his role.
Yeah, but
as
if you're
well.
asking me who's a better actor, of course Tom Cruise is going to be a better actor
So you give the award to Tom Cruise
if the award was for acting.
for everything, all encompassing.
All right, put it this way: if it was the Academy Awards, yeah, I'll give it to Tom Cruise.
Overall action star award.
If it was the Academy Awards, yeah, I'll give it to Tom Cruise.
Blockbuster action star award.
If it was the Academy Awards,
I know, but I answer my one.
in the category of blockbuster action star,
Okay,
I'll give it to Tom Cruise.
what about Zero Credibility's action star award? Hey, we're gonna do movie awards as well at the end of the year.
I don't know, man. It's so different. Like the movies that they get in are so different. Like the Jackie Chan movies that he goes in, right? They're not like. I don't want to say this in a demeaning way, but they don't demand a lot from the acting perspective.
Oh, Jackie Chan, he always does that. Oh, You know that,
Yeah,
that face?
although more recently he's trying to
Have you seen The
transition.
Foreigner?
Yeah, I have. More recently, he's trying to transition
That's
to more
pretty- not
serious
bad.
roles. Yeah, I thought the movie was not bad. But, you know, if you're asking me, like, is he a better actor? Definitely not. Tom Cruise is definitely a better actor.
Okay, shall we wrap this shit up? All right. With zero credibility, thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.